Good evening. Good evening. It's hot. It's hot. This summer is actually being a hot one. And of course, I don't know, of course, like, how you doing, Everike? Of course, like, last week, the hot days were Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, which are my stream days. And then this week, the hot days are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, which are my stream days. So, it's just like, cool. I can't just, like, vegetate and be lazy in the heat and sit here, do nothing, and not feel bad about it because it's too hot. Instead, it's my stream days, so I get to melt in front of you. So, as a result, I grabbed a big ol' wine glass of iced, seriously iced water. There's a tray and a half of ice cubes in here. And a fan behind me. And I was originally, I need to actually tap into the game so like it visually shows up. There we go. Originally, because usually what happens when I stream is I usually I close the door behind me. That's like leads to our balcony, and I usually leave the window open, but my neighbors and stuff like right out there, like right below, especially. Like when they're on their balcony, I hear every single word, and they're not loud. They're talking the same volume I am. It's just the way the sound bounces. It just bounces right into my room, and so I hear every single word that they say. And I'm sure it's the same way the other way around. And I don't like disturbing people sound-wise. So, literally seconds before I hit the start streaming button, they go out onto the balcony and start hanging out. And I'm like, I was gonna leave all my shit open so my room doesn't get stupidly hot, but sometimes I yell. And I would rather, like, yell. I'd be more comfortable yelling if I have the door closed. Because at least I'm trying not to, like, disturb people. So I decided to get ice water. Of course, you may be asking yourself, or you may be asking me, you might go Bromchu, why a wine glass? I'll tell you why a wine glass. It's the largest glass I own, because of course it is. And that's all you need to know. Okay, what the fuck was I even doing? I saw my like, in-game hour time. Apparently it's only 6 hours. I could have sworn I've done more than 2 streams of this. Maybe it was 3 one stream was very short, maybe that's why. Maybe it was 3 short streams. Right. Do I have any, like, investigations? I mean, there's this one. What to do with the recruiter note? Which note was that? It's definitely a thing I like. I mean, it's near the main quest. I'm trying to, like, go onto the Y, and it's just, like, it won't fucking let me. I can't even... Okay, fine. Can I reread what it was? Because I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was a collectible or, like, it's probably a quest item. I have a fuck ton of these. The web boot boys? I'm already too hot because I closed the doors and shit. But also when I went to go close the door, it was hotter outside than in my room. So maybe it's just like the lack of airflow. Okay, definitely wasn't that. Ekans. Okay, I don't remember which letter it was. whatever. It says choose what to do and it only has one option on it. And it makes me think maybe I should hold on to it for a bit. Just do the Whitechapel. What was the blackmail? This is okay. My memory is complete shit. Blackmail plot against lady. Oh right, the fucking the Kaji old lady. Is Kaji the right word? It is a word, right? Curmudgeon-y? Curmudgeon-y old lady? She's a Frank old lady. Named Frank. Game of League of Legends. I mean, don't feel bad about playing a game. You don't have to devote full attention to this. It's not like I'm doing anything. Let's be real. I do that with streams constantly. Where I'm like there but not there. That's like my go-to mode. You just can't help me out. I mean, don't worry about it. I ask a lot of my questions are rhetorical anyway. I'm not like expecting an answer. I'm just kind of voicing my initial thought out loud. Now let's see if I can remember what abilities I have mapped to which buttons. They don't seem to give a fuck. Oh. I don't know why I couldn't target him before. Oh, okay, that's the. Oh, right, I have the fucking stun club. What the fuck is that? A smoke grenade? You really rely on your abilities for this weapon. I guess the upside is that you always have blood, because you're always stunning. Rude? Of course, I can't always switch to, like, the normal one. I just want to do some damage. Am I louder today? I think I'm louder today. I don't know. Maybe this is just a little higher than normal. Just a little higher than normal. Normally, I can lock onto them before battle, and it just wouldn't let me. Don't really know why. Oh, really? Gotcha. Ow.
We have to stop it. He's dead.
Well, how did that still hit me? Alright, they have so much stamina. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Rude. It was named for the wall. That explains why he's so beefy. I love the sound when I use the stake. It's so nice. Takes like no damage.
When did you join the guard? 2 days ago.
Shaling. Just hanging out down there. I, for one, am glad that sound does not travel realistically in most video games. Or even in D&D, because that's like most people don't take that into account as realistically as you could. And I, for one, am glad for it, because
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Find my hideout first. Is it up there? This seems like a hideout building to me. Like realistic sound, obviously that alerts people and people come running to check it out. Realistic sound is like when I was playing Pillars of Eternity 2 and I was in that, like, what was his name? That stupid, the imp god. And like, I aggroed one person and the entire fucking floor came and I had to fight like 30 at once and died. Realistically, sound-wise, that place wasn't that big. You have one fight, everyone's gonna fucking hear. But then, you know, it's kind of ridiculous to deal with. Where is this hideout? Oh, it's over there.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
Did Albert just kill Benjamin?
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets.
Someday
Not
you'll
me.
understand. You've wasted your life away.
What the fuck just happened?
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Remember it. No, holy shit.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. If she's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
I wish I had the balls to be like, it's Bromtube, remember it. Now fuck off. Like, holy shit. What an intro.
What happened? Did you really steal
That's like
that
Hollywood
man's
diva
medication?
levels
Hey,
of snark.
I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right.
I don't even know really what happened. I just saw that the second half of it.
With someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
No?
You're being manipulated by these criminals.
Right.
What's worse is that you're clever enough to know better.
You're all fancy words. none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
What did I just... I pressed the wrong button. I did not mean to do that. I meant to just look at the level. Okay, release him. Like, I'm not gonna... Oh, that was a side quest.
The wet boots will be proud of
Okay. I mean, he's got, like, fatigue and shit, and, like... I mean, I could just eat him. Hold on.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now,
How are you, boy? I can cure his fatigue, but... I probably should cure things.
Do you need assistance?
please. Feeling tired these days.
There you go. Let's hope nobody.
Because, like, that one guy, like,
Very fun.
their affliction got worse after, like, I went to sleep for a night. So I feel like the sooner you
Goodbye, young
help,
man.
like, cure people, the better. Because it seems like... I have a feeling, I have a hunch, that if you let people's conditions get worse, they can end up dying from it.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley.
And then I miss it on all those delicious pennies. Alright, let's go get this.
Your problems. As long as you have the money.
The fuck?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I don't know why you
my
play League of
brother has
Legends.
spoken of your
I mean,
research,
everyone
sir.
asks that of themselves.
I'm Loretta Swanborough,
When they
and
play
it's
League of
always a
Legends. Why do I
pleasure to
play
meet a
this?
fellow healer.
I saw that there's like some sort of anime visual novel event going on right now. The new mode is basically Heroes of the Storm. From what I saw. Which isn't bad. Hots was fine. They're just, you know, aspects of it that suck. You know who this woman looks like? She looks like the mother from Mary Poppins. Can't remember what the mother's name is. That's what she looks like, though. She looks like Mrs. Banks.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more.
Oh, it's not the
about
first time?
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I think it's the hair. I think the hair is the same or very similar. And, the fox. The dead fox around her. It's definitely gonna be part of it.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Says the snake oil merchant.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Yes. Be recycled into components. I'm curious about the components. I wish I could see how much I'm currently holding. Like, really, like, easily. More ingredients is always good, because then I can craft all the stuff. I don't know what else I need money for. Weapons, I suppose, but I'm pretty good with the weapons I find. Let's buy one of these. See what it's all about. I did need a lot of potassium. Do I want to spend 90? Sure. Hairstyles. Oh, did you look up a picture? Just like the general look, which just reminded me a bit of Mrs. Banks. It's also very weird to see someone looking like this in the dreary streets of London when everything else is all like death and decay.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
Alright.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
So he's either Albert's father or stepfather.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Okay.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Don't feel ashamed.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
Not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Well, I can't treat his migraine or anything.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Oh. Well then.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
I don't think I've ever had a full-on migraine. Maybe a small one once. But would alcohol make that worse? I feel like it would make it worse.
How are you?
I'm not your...
Alright, I got some hint. I got a hint that I can't talk to him about.
Goodbye, young man.
Depends on what caused the migraine. I suppose. Migraines do seriously suck. And they would drive me to shoot somebody. If they did actions to make it worse, or took the pills that made the pain go away, I'd be like, you fucking piece of shit. That's a nasty thing you could do to somebody if they have migraines. Just take their any pills away that they could use to make him feel better? Dead inside. All right. This wasn't the main quest, was it? I'm looking for the hideout. Is this something else? Beware. Alcohol is a blood thinner, so it caused by high blood pressure. It might help, I suppose. It definitely wouldn't help me, because all of my, like, terrible headaches are usually sinus-related. Oh, it is a hideout, okay. I'm getting a lot of shit that I can, like, break down and stuff. Keep out. You're no doctor. Well, I am, apparently. Dr. Jonathan Reed. Oh, I can't even cure, things. Somebody had sepsis. Still need more potassium. I still feel like having just one of everything is good. I'm supposed to make one of those. Make codeine and potassium. This is the club I'm using. Increase damage dealt. Add 3 stun points. More stun or more damage? I'd rather it have more damage, honestly. Like, the stun on it is already pretty good. And then... yeah. That's good for the ones I actually use. I need... need not these things. It literally breaks down into a vial. This is the most useless fucking shit. Fucking snake oil. Later it'll be harder to stun. It's also like they get a buff. Like, because when you stun them once, their stun bar gets bigger. And so if you keep doing it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it goes back down over time. So I'm not going to sleep. I thought this led outside. Yeah. Why do they hurt so much? God damn it. I love this club. It's so good. Is this another? Oh no. It's like, is this another workbench? The need for blood. Vampires drink blood. This may be their most specific trait, the sinister peculiarity of their condition, if I may say so. But for me, this is not the most important characteristic of their diet. What has always fascinated me, since I started to study them, is the imperative need for blood they seem to endure. They want it more than anything, and this desire can drive them to expose themselves. And when they drink it, they seem to feel some sort of short trance, an ecstatic epiphany, said to me once a Volkod I interviewed in Moscow. I'm convinced that this is an essential element to understand the nature and condition of the vampires. They don't drink blood because it sustains them, but it offers them ecstasy. Ecstasy. Vampires are addicted to blood, all of them. It is part of their nature, and those among the immortals who refuse to submit to their appetite by the strength of their will only are never freed from this addiction. So saith St. Paul. Technically, a chirology of St. Paul. Same thing. Schwing. Okay, that leads outside. That also leads outside, okay. Ice water always has that flavor to it. Or at least like ice water at home. When it's like at a restaurant, it just tastes like cold water. But at home it has that like freezer taste. You know what I mean? It's probably because it's just like I mean, this was very old ice, if that matters. Maybe I should clean out my freezer. I'm like, this has happened in like my entire life. Like, it doesn't matter. It could be because the ice I use was like sitting there for a few months. So that's probably why it has that taste to it. I think yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's just not fresh. And it's like, it somehow slowly evaporates as well. Like, if you leave an ice cube tray in the freezer, eventually the ice disappears. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, they just slowly shrink. Why? I don't fucking know. That's weird to me, but it does. It happens. And these ice cubes were like a third gone. So... tastes fucking weird.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
There we go. It'd have a higher mineral content. Well, that could be it, yeah. She never washes her fucking hands.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
He looks so sinister in his little portrait.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap?
Yes.
As long as I can remember, this
Very
part of town
applicable to
has
real
been a
day.
bottomless pit.
Real world
and no
day.
sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Oh, he's level 4. I was like, that's some good XP in his blood, but no. All hints.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Alright.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Well, he's a businessman, alright, I can tell you that. You wanna do things for free? Not make money? How dare you? That undercuts my business. Middle of a pandemic, and that's what you're fucking thinking about. I'll buy a few of these.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off!
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Well, he doesn't need it, apparently, so.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You could have refused.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Well then.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
You are best friends, apparently.
You never...
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. And these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against the Wet Boot Boy.
It's still just like, I'm sure that's an actual name of an actual gang that existed, or maybe it still exists, but I think it's not. It sounds kind of silly.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
We're the Wet Boot Boys, we are, and we terrorize the streets. We're the Wet Boots. No one with a wet boot is a kind soul. I'm surprised at the number of people I'm able to talk to around here. Considering my first foray into Whitechapel was just like endless enemies. I mean, I guess there's a lot of people in this game. So.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Why does he have to talk creepy?
I just have a few questions.
A scientist?
Why does the priest have to talk creepy?
You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
It feels like a stereotype at this point, just like the creepy priest.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I'm listening.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Surprised he isn't calling me one with those eyes.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Oh, he just wants to burn them all alive. Okay.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
When was the great London fire? That was the 1800s, wasn't it?
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad. And dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher.
And I would know.
A small-time Torquemada. A Savonarola of Whitechapel.
I have no idea what that means.
If you think salvation
It was in
is a free
1666,
gift,
really?
go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption,
I thought it was a lot more
and
recent than
people
that.
die in the streets.
I think there were maybe there was like a really big fire. There was a really big fire somewhere in the last 200 years. That's very notable. That like ruined a whole city. May have been in America.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see
Can
the
I pause?
plain truth.
Causes and consequences, because like, you know, you don't have causes or consequences in any religious text. What a shit. A great stink? There was a great stink? Maybe I'm thinking of an earthquake. Maybe there was like a great earthquake that like leveled the whole city.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me.
I don't know. There was some
What
sort
do
of
I know?
citywide destruction.
Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking
That was more
answers,
recent.
aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Should I listen to him again? I can say I believe
I am.
facts.
But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition.
How many times can I go into this?
All science.
Quite a judge.
But you are
Well,
as a
what do you mean?
the beast.
I have heard in...
Oh, I can't. I want to talk to him more about his personal
Good
life.
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
But why has he got to talk weird?
Have you any friends? Any family left?
Why can't we
in
have
these
like
terrible times?
No.
a nice,
But I have a disciple
pleasant,
I see as my
altruistic
son.
priest for once? And like even when they are like in
I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this.
it was
city.
Trails in the Sky, in like the hometown, the very first hometown. The priest there, he's a nice, altruistic guy, but he also like talks in like prose half the time. You're just like,
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
every time I take a drink, like several drops of condensation just like fall off, and I'm not sure where exactly they're falling off from. It's not the base. Whatever it's called. I don't mind. Oh yeah, Kevin's a priest. Well, he's like an inquisitor. More than a priest.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil.
He's not like a parish priest or anything.
Through the valley of the shadow of death.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work?
He's using the cover of yeah, I mean, yeah, he is technically a priest. He is technically a traveling priest, though, as well. But like,
care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
It's not like he actually ran a local church and like did like services and sermons and like helped the needy and all those kinds of things.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
The early 1900s. So similar to today when you really think about it.
I have had enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Not that much has changed, let's be real. Laws have changed, but the hearts of men, hearts and minds of all mankind hasn't really changed much. Oh, this is a reporter.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Everyone is shorter than me. Everyone is shorter than me.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's not the worst point ever. Like, why dogpile the demoralization? I still feel like people should know, though.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
He's fatigued. I'm sure there's a rational explanation.
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
Public health?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything, involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
Do you think any gamers could name their kids Darius without referencing League of Legends?
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nithercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nithercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
It's a pretty rare name. I imagine it was more common back in the day, but meeting someone who's actually named Darius in life, it's extremely rare.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Weird. Asked all the things, asked all the things.
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught during my investigation.
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Alright, I don't know which one's which, but that's okay. So I've more or less decided the games I'm going to be playing. The next, like, 3 games I'm going to be playing. The next one, obviously, is Horizon Zero Dawn. Level 10? God damn it. You think that would knock him off of me, but no. But yeah, the next one's Horizon Zero Dawn. And if I'm like a few days late to the party, I actually don't mind that. I'd actually almost prefer that Twitch-wise, because like, it's going to be, a lot of people are going to be playing that. Especially on Twitch. And I was like, I hear a gun. Picked up bullets. And just gonna end up being buried in directories anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter if I like play it immediately or if it's like a few days late or a week late. But that's the next game. And then after that, it's going to be Tales of Vesperia is the one I have. It's on the list. And then before starting the stream today, I briefly caught RPG Limit Break, which is a speedrunning thing that is always RPGs. And they were doing Trails of Cold Steel, and I was looking at it, and I was like, man, I want to go back to that. So after Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm going to just arbitrarily choose between Tales of Vesperia and Trails of Cold Steel. But after Vampyr, those are the next 3 games. Unless some other shiny thing catches my attention. But I don't think it will. Everything I've been looking forward to has been delayed, or PS4 exclusive or something. You, Richard?
Morbidity can breathe its own beauty and grace. Whitechapel is not just disease, desertion, and despair.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Did I see about? No, I didn't end up seeing the trailer for it.
Please be my guest.
I heard about it though.
Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
That wasn't part of Xbox, was it?
Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Was it? I only saw like 2/3. Like I saw like the first half of Xbox, and then like just kind of skimmed the rest. So.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city.
What was Aurora again?
See it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care.
Oh,
I
Pillars
don't
of
have
Eternity.
many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Does have a cold I could treat.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
First person. I'll definitely. I mostly only saw like the jokes for Unavowed. Avowed, Unavowed, and I was just like, oh, that sounds funny.
If you
but I didn't
say
really
so.
know what it was about.
But as a physician in a time of epidemic,
Beyond
I must
that.
caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
I mean, technically, that's what you do. You don't speak them. You don't speak them straight up.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
All right.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism
Under the
and vivid
rain.
paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Never heard of her. Alright.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Didn't get any, like, new hints from himself.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more important than my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
Healthy body, healthy mind. Come on.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Not that I practice health. I don't really practice that. I do not have a healthy body. But I should try. On the upside, I should be able to sleep tonight regardless of the heat because I don't know. Is it in my camera? No, not really. I guess kinda. It's like directly behind my current fan. I pulled out my high velocity fan. Editor refusal. Dear Mr. Nethercott, thank you for sending your book of poems, songs from the defeated city, which we found as interesting and profound as we told you the first time we received it. Alas, in the terrible times our country is currently facing, you must understand that such a title would be totally inappropriate for any publication. Thus, since you still refuse to change your title and demand the full publication of none of your work, I'm sorry to announce that Sycophant Publishing chose the second option.
Some of us come to this world already touched by grace.
Good evening, Mr. Nethercott.
And good evening to you too.
When I went to go use it, when I pulled it out the other day, I forgot. The reason why I hadn't used it so long is that it's super covered. It was super covered in dust. Like, it'd been used for a long time without a dusting. And it was like the blades were they literally had like clumps of dust like hang on. It was so dusty. It was ridiculous. And I couldn't clean it. I didn't use it for a few years because like I couldn't clean it because I couldn't take the fucking cage off because it's high velocity. You need like a screwdriver and a wrench to open one of the things to actually completely take off the guards so you can like clean the blades, which is not surprising because even still, like standing still, those blades, it's metal first of all, and it's actually kind of sharp to the touch. That the speed at which that fan spins on low would cut your fingers off, guaranteed. So I'm not surprised that you need like actual tools to take the cage off. And the last time I tried, I didn't have like a small enough because it's super small. I had like a larger screwdriver that didn't quite fit, and I completely stripped and like crushed the screw and the bolt and the nut on the other side to the point where you literally can't screw it off. And I was trying, and I have more tools now, so I was just trying. I was like, maybe I could just like saw into the top, make new grooves, and I did. And then I got to the point where I was like, oh, the threadings are all actually fucked, so I can't spin it off. And eventually I just took a plier to like the top half and I just ripped it open because I was like, I need to use this and I need it clean because I'm allergic to dust. The last thing I need is shit tons of dust blown at me at high velocity as I sleep. So
you don't really make a living from
it took like half an hour, so I got to bed late that night because of that,
sir,
but I slept pretty well.
I worked so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yo, that's all his hints? What? How did I max his blood? There's hint there. Hint there? What the fuck? There's more story.
Leave him alone, sir.
Apparently, you can get more story than you need to maximize the deliciousness. I assumed you had to like learn everything about them. Apparently, you can just like be like, you know what? I know enough about you. And turn them into a nice raspberry cordial. I didn't actually read that. Oh.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, she's mute.
I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the Penny Dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
Penny. Penny.
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
I mean, she's just maxed from the get-go.
Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. Tell me about Richard Nithercott.
Tell me.
I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Alright, well.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Good chat. She's not like pretending to be mute, I don't think. Otherwise, I feel like I would have gotten her to talk with my mesmerized stuff. She is actually mute. Oh, the mailbox is around here. Probably this right here. Darius Petrescu's letter, my dearest, most beloved children. I am so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war, but there is also a war going on here in England. A war against poverty and against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I am writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You're grown up now, and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must take now. To feel useful one more time, I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I am as ever your loving father, Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
I wonder if I can enter this church at some point and it's just like an endless assault of holy energy. And just like, ah! I have to leave. That'd be kind of funny. There's nothing here. I don't have like a general jump button, I don't think. I don't remember. I'm gonna say no.
Don't be shy,
I was
handsome.
gonna say this is a new person.
What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Wow.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
I don't have the treatment for it.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
She's a woman of the people.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Why is it always the West End?
Tell me about yourself.
Why is it always like the
joking with
fancier
me? People don't usually come
place?
to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work.
I feel like that happens in a
I
lot
am,
of
however,
cities.
Curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly, but it is not your concern, Doctor.
Yeah, that was that thing.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Just gonna quickly wander over here through the garbage can. Ooh, it has been unlocked. Ah. I was not paying attention. I didn't realize this was locked in the first place. The district is serious. I guess this is the civilized area where you talk to people.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Didn't I get an investigation to follow up on? I got a few. $285. Oh, it's way the fuck over there. What was this one? What was this about? Hold on. I don't remember him telling me that bit. That's just right there. So. Let's go. Oh, that's the, I was like, is this a new person? No.
It's a leech! Let's kill it!
What the fuck? Why are you gassing me? What the fuck is that about? Oh. No, I'm gonna die from this. Of all the kinds of weapons, I don't think I've ever seen that. Ever. Well, it also goes through walls, which kind of sucks. Oh.
It's a killer!
He doesn't stop either, it just goes and goes. What is all this shit? I have 1 HP.
I'll send you to hell.
That's actually a rough enemy. There's a goddamn werewolf in there. Didn't I take, like, blood spears or something? Or did I not have enough points when I wanted to? Oh, right, this has a parry on it. I forgot. Get fooked on. Shling. Fighting a werewolf doesn't seem very pleasant. I mean, you'd think so. Shling. But, I mean, it is a little gamey, I'll be honest. But in this heat wave, it's just slightly cooler than the humans. So I'm cool with it. Oh, it's a... It's got low cholesterol value, I'll say that. This seems shitty. I'm sticking with this hacksaw. You're uncomfortably warm. I am yeah, that's about where I am. I'm uncomfortable. I'm surprised I'm not hotter, given that I closed the door and window and everything to avoid noise. Where is this going? It's just Oh god, I didn't mean to actually fall. Where are my abilities? I did take the blood spear. I haven't used it yet. I'm gonna switch up my like hold. The hold's nice and it's free, but I want to try something more offensive. Throw a spirit made of bleed. Made of bleed. I didn't actually get the box, which I'm sure was up there. Oh, shit. Of course, this one's super resistant to melee and blood. Not to stun, though. I should carry. I don't have a ranged weapon in my loadout, so I really should just like, instead of the stake, have like. I'm good with the hatchet for stun. Let's use a shotgun. Really pay attention to some sound effects that are kind of funny. Are they? I'm not paying that much attention to them. The only one I've really noticed was the steak one. I was like, that's satisfying. Where the hell is this box? Sounds of biting? It's gotta be in this building. Or we just missed it. I am in the area. Am I just like missing a flat? Have I walked by it like 3 times? I'm not seeing any other like flashy things. Sounds like a werewolf makes me hit, and it's hit by your club. That sounds like a squeaky toy. I never got that because they're fucking deadly, so I was not hearing that. Is it up there? Can I like jump up there? Oh, it's got. Oh, okay. It's got to be up top there. I see. Can I not? Can I not? Can I not? Maybe it's just on this corpse. Lord. Apparently, it must be. It must just be on that second floor, and I've just walked by it a few times. Maybe I can go up again. I haven't noticed. Yeah, there we go.
This could be the box Lewis.
Barrett, there's no easy way to say it, so I'm going to be blunt. We can't keep on like this. At least I can't keep on like this. If Joe ever finds out about us, about his wife and his best friend, it will crush him. And then he will kill you. We had some good time together. But let's face it, I'm never going to be your Jane Lewis. You know it and I know it too, so I'm ending this right here and right now. If you agree with my decision, I'm sure we'll find a way to be happy again. You, Joe, and me in time. And then the most important part of our story will have been preserved. Until that day, I wish you'd forgive me. Goodbye for now. Jane Peterson.
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife, addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
That's a good question, actually. On the one hand, Joe was being like the bully, but on the other hand, Barrett was like, fuck that nurse giving away meds for free in a pandemic and like cutting into my sales. So I'm just like, they both suck in unique ways. Of course, so do I. Yeah, Joe will probably beat the shit out of Barrett.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
I don't know. It feels even to me. Fucking every time. It surprises me every time. I like tilt it and it's just like all the condensation just falls on my leg.
I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been...
Alright, so let's weigh the options. Joe's a bully and he's working for the gang and he's being that... He's being all bullshit about it. Barrett slept with Joe's wife. Is mad at a nurse for handing out meds for free in a pandemic.
I know it's hard
I'm giving it to Joe.
But this district has always been wretched. Don't let your guard down, sir.
Giving it to Barrett will keep the status quo. Will it? Oh yeah, it would. Because it's like Barrett's secret and you're keeping Barrett's secret. I'm giving it to Joe.
Cheap price, good quality.
You again? What do you want this
I
time?
hope he doesn't kill Barrett though, because I'd rather eat him. Guess we'll find out.
I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really? Where'd you get it?
I found it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
Now I'm confused. Wasn't it about Barrett sleeping with Jane? Am I remembering this wrong? Did I literally just fucking read it?
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
I mean, sure, whatever. Were there more? Yeah, I didn't know there were more. I thought... I guess there was a whole box of letters. Alright, I'll track this, but I'm not going to do it right now because it's so far away. I'm right next to the main quest, so...
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again. Go away.
Mesmerize level 2 required. Oh, shit.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
I mean, I've met her. Or she'll be surprised to see me here, I'm sure. Shling! Don't mind me, I'm just gonna loot your house as well. Shling!
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area. Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes, his manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
It's very true. That's a good quote.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Yeah, he has bronchitis.
Tell me everything you know about...
I do not...
Oh. It was still, like, not grayed out, so I was like, oh, well, that's more stuff.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius.
No, I like learned everything about this man before approaching him.
I know my days are numbered, and I
like
know
everything.
I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
But it's not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
Do you need some help, Mr. Petrescu?
I am very tired, but that is all. I don't need you, Doctor.
Well, I think you do. Take this, and you'll feel better.
It's interesting how most of the medication I'm giving people I have to give through mesmerization.
It must be my lucky day.
They're like, I don't need your help. I'm like, you fucking do, though. All equi-like. I think I've cured, like, or given medicine to, like, 5 people, and 3 or 4 of them are like, no, I don't need it. And I'm like, no. You're taking it. And I will mind control you into taking it. How come it doesn't, like, open the thing? It used to open the thing. Which one was it? No, I don't get... God damn it. I swear it's like I press select and it's supposed to open the thing, but it's not opening the thing. Now I don't know what the fuck I just got. Is it this? No, I've read that already. I mean, it's not one of these. I swear it was like collectible, but I've seen all the... Unless it was this. This is very long. I don't want to read this out loud. This is also written by Usher Talltree. I don't know who... They seem to know a lot. They know a lot of stuff.
It's locked.
Hmm. Can I unlock this now? Nice! Walk in here whenever I fucking feel like it. Clove essence. Cloves are crazy strong. I'm just talking about the spice. I don't know if that was the same thing. It's kind of insane how strong they are for how small they are.
Give me a drink!
Razvan, can you hear my voice?
My dearest Dorothea, when you read this letter, I'll be on the boat that will take Anton and me back to Brasov. England was not for us, and I confess I cannot wait to see again the proud hills of Transylvania. As soon as we are there, I promise I'll light a candle in the Black Church and pray for you to survive this terrible epidemic. I know that you do not agree with this decision and that you are determined to be more useful by helping our comrades exiled in the East End. But Anton cannot wait to return to our beloved country and see our long-awaited revolution bloom. He is my husband. I will stay by his side. I know we had our arguments and our fights. I know you would have wanted me to stand by your side and help you manage this clinic of yours, but now that I'm leaving England, be assured that if anything would happen to you, if you were ever in great trouble or danger, I would come back immediately to London, with or without Anton. Please think of me as much as I think of you. I'm your affectionate sister, Theodora. I hear the hissing. I'm just gonna... Oh, she's fine. He's subdued. Just gonna loot before I approach. Just sees me, doesn't bat an eye.
He's going.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
I'm willing to listen to advice.
He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see.
As I immediately grow fangs.
I must.
I can choose to eat him, I think.
Artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
A dose of
I don't know.
Yes, Doctor.
The actual choice. It's probably the wrong choice. I was like, epinephrine.
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Holy shit, she's washing her hands.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy?
So gonna have blood. Yeah, she's like permanently covered in
I
blood.
suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Oh, her hands are clean. I'm fine with her continuing her thing right now.
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor.
I forgot she was...
I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
So I was like, I'm good to like continue let Dorothy do her thing here, and then I hit the blackmail must stop. I forgot she's the blackmailer. I forgot that. I thought she was like, I was remembering it as she's a blackmailee. So I was like, oh, we could stop the blackmails, and now I'm like, oh, well, now I've decided that I have to stop you.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man.
So...
he wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Embrace her immediately. Charm, you will forget all about this. I'm not gonna embrace her. This might be my only chance, but I don't... Look away, but you resign. I don't know what you will forget about all this does. I can't think of the consequence of that. I guess that's me being like, you know what, I'm just gonna let this continue. I'm gonna go with this.
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go.
Oh. Well...
All gone.
Well... It's not what I wanted to do, but... I chose the choices. God damn it. I hate when that happens, but I don't think too hard about like what is this choice making for me? Like what am I because like I didn't want her to resign. I wanted to like completely let it go, but I guess I already decided I can't completely let it go. Can't even talk to her. That might have been my only chance to embrace her as well. I still don't know how, like, indiscriminate my embracements are gonna be. I mean, if she's gonna forget it, then I can get rid of Darius, right? Right? I never did eat Harvey. Oh, I don't really want to eat Harvey. I think that's why. I do want to eat Thelma, though. I'm absolutely doing that. I don't know if I want to eat anyone else. I mean, on the one hand...
It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right.
I wonder if I can just come back later and embrace her, because, like... It's quite drafty in here, don't you think?